6:20, 6:30. Is it?
5 to 6.
Yeah, 5 to 6.
I thought it was later. Stayed up too
Sounds like a song.
Sorry, when I haven't played a song for a while, I need to figure out what key I like it. I'm going to do it in. In fact, I think I'm going to.
DC, and of course, the Redskins.
Anyway.
Skins, yeah, they haven't been in the playoff in, what, 33 years?
Yeah.
So she was pretty excited.
Yeah, I know.
There's an old friend of mine named Al Exo who died back in October, and just had his memorial service yesterday. He was a musician, a father, a husband, although he was an ex-husband quite some time before he died. But anyway, a lot of people came and sang at his funeral. I guess you'd call it funeral. They called it a celebration of life. I heard a lot more about his life than I had ever known when I knew him, which was kind of interesting. They said he decided to hitchhike away from home when he was 5 years old. He was headed for his grandpa's house, but in Fremont, Michigan, and I said to one of my friends that was there, if I'd been driving along and seen that little kid, I would have asked him and said, where your mom and dad lived? You know. But anyway, and he was a longtime member and for a while president of the Grand River Folk Arts Society. And I've known him since the late 70s when folk arts first got started. And anyhow, I've got a record of his that he cut back in 78 or thereabouts. And this song is on it. I think he tried to make it for a while as a folk singer in Chicago and gave up, as most people trying to make a living at it do. Anyway, this song is one he wrote there, and in a way I dedicate it to that guy because he used to work on trains. The song is called The Brakeman. He sat in a Southside Chicago bar. He heard the old Rock Island whistle moan. And I wondered if he'd read what the papers all had said, that financially the line was going down. But his big frame never moved, save to raise a glass of gin in a slow salute to 2 times now dead and gone. And his eyes seemed to stare through the walls that held us warm, and his fingers kept the rhythm to my song. He never was one of the show business folk like his buddies Frankie L. or Jimmy D. But he caught his favorite acts both in Vegas and L.A. and and there was some other line. I'll get it next time around. That's the chorus. If I can't remember it, I can't really expect you guys to remember it. From the rolling Midwest hills out to California, he had ridden as a brakeman on the trains. And he caught his favorite acts both in Vegas and L.A., and many came to know him by his name. Then as the long freight rattled through the lonesome starry night, his friends would say, hey, do your Jimmy D. So starting with a joke, he'd belt out note by note the acts he'd paid so dearly to see. No, he never was one of the show business folks like his buddies Frankie L. or Jimmy D. But his friends said he was good, and so he always would try to keep him entertained just for free. Well, he rides the rails no more, he's long since retired. His wife and he live out by the lake shore. And the time has been so quite long since he's been asked for a song, but then no one likes the good songs anymore. But in his mind's eye, I think I faded from the scene, and an orchestra was playing on the stand. And he sang a sad old song about the autumn leaves, and his crowd was just like putty in his hands. No, he never was one of the show business folk like his buddies Frankie L. or Jimmy D. But he caught his friend said he was good, so he always would try to keep him entertained just for free. The autumn leaves drift by my window. The autumn leaves and red and gold. I hear their song, and I can't remember the words. Sorry, folks. Da da dum bum, da ba dum go. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter's song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall.